What's going on, guys? Bout MMA here. Here I'm going to show you guys one of the fights that I had. This was back in 2020. I'll give you guys a story of the fight. Here I more or less get knocked out. I almost get knocked out, and the reason why it's almost is because one of the rules that we had was that we weren't supposed to kick in the head. And I'll explain that a little bit more as you watch. So right as we get into the video, let's go ahead and watch here. So you see in the beginning, they're doing introductions. Again, in China, what a lot of people don't realize is that if you don't have enough bouts under your belt, or the information is not as appealing, they'll make up stuff. So you hear the announcer say that I was in the UFC, that I've got like 16 bouts or something like that. So he's like making up my record and information. This fight I had actually taken on 2 days notice because they couldn't find anybody to fight this kid. He was a younger guy, he was a kickboxer, and here I was in MMA. So this is an exhibition bout where the first round was kickboxing, 5 minutes, and then the second round was MMA, 5 minutes. And the first round, the only rule was don't kick in the head. And then the second round, the only rule was no ground and pound. So as we get started, he's explaining what the rules are here. I speak Chinese, so he's explaining in Chinese what we're supposed to do. He said, "Yeah, we can use knees. We can kick. We can kick to the body. We can punch to the face, but no kicks to the head," which is explicitly explained. And again, this is a few years after my very first fight, so you'll see the difference in my skill set, how I move, how my strikes look, and things like that. But things start to change after the head kick in the fight. So you'll see as things get started here. Um, I was a little bit heavier than this guy. To be fair, he was taller than I was, and had been preparing for a fight, and they just couldn't find him an opponent. And so, 2 days notice, I decided to take this fight. So you see, we get started here. I'm starting using my jab. I'm able to block the kicks using my jab to just set it up. He's throwing kicks when I'm blocking. He's swinging, you can see, with malicious intent, but I'm happy to just stand back and block and land my strikes. You see, he's not really landing anything on me. I'm just getting out of the way of most of his strikes here. Here I kick him with a nice hard body kick. I block there. You see he's going for the head. He goes for the head again. He kicks as I'm blocking. He kicks me in the head. So here he's excited. He thinks he's won the fight. But again, the only rule was don't kick in the head. So you see me drop down again. Of course, nobody ever wants to ever talk about the fact that they got dropped like this. But it was in the rule set. And here now his entire goal was to knock me out, because the first round, again, was kickboxing, which was his forte. Here you see I'm still a little bit wobbled, but the second round was MMA. So his entire goal now is to try to knock me out. Here, I'm still, again, a little wobbly. You see as he's coming, I'm holding. He's throwing knees to the body. It's a little harder to see from this angle. Again, my hands are down. He's just going head hunting the entire time. The ref each time stops him and says, "Listen," as you can't really see in this corner, but he's like, "Listen, you can't kick him in the head. Stop kicking for it. Stop going for the head." And then we continue the fight. So here, I hit him with a knee, a punch. He misses. He misses again, and he was swinging again so much, but he was so wild. I could still see the punches coming. So most of this round, he's not actually hitting me, but he's gunning for my head. And every time he actually does get a hit off, it was a kick or a punch it was a kick to the head. So here we're just holding. I'm trying to regain my bearings. Um, so here I land another jab. Actually, in that jab, I broke my hand. I didn't realize it, but you'll see me not punch as much here. I punch once more to the body. You see, I'm able to pretty much block everything else. I'm starting to regain my bearings here. I throw a right hand that he blocks. I block his kick there, block another kick, and then here he's just again trying to knock me out, because he knows that if we make it to the second round, this fight is pretty much over. The ref separates us. I throw a sloppy swing, a looping right hand, and then a leg kick, and then a body kick to try to keep him at bay. I'm pretty much regained my bearings by this point, but again, you can see he's just straight up head hunting. Again, kicking high to the head. The ref stops him again and says, "Listen, you cannot kick him in the head." Right. So, but at this point, he's kicked me in the head maybe 2 or 3 times, and he's really just trying with all his might to knock me out. And I'm just trying to kind of survive here. I'm recovered, but I guess subconsciously I knew that my hand was broken, so I stopped punching as much with my left. I'm dodging most of his shots. I'm kind of just staying out of his range, and I'm kind of trying to recover more and more and more. Um, Again, kicks me in the head again for the fourth time. I believe that was the fourth time at this point. I'm fine. The ref again stops him and says, "Listen, you can't kick him in the head." So every time you see the ref stop him and take him aside, it's because he kicked me in the head after the initial knockdown where he kicked me in the head. There, I do throw another jab and then I throw a right. And another thing is that you can't really tell here, but this was an outdoor, indoor type of stadium. So it was like open air stadium. So it was actually very cold. This was in January, so it's the winter time. And, a lot of people who had shoes on were in there. So you see me slip. And the reason I slipped there is because it was very sooty on the mats of the ring. So it was like very hard to gain your footing. There, I'm able to block one of the kicks, and then I try to throw another jab, but it misses. Um, and he's just going full force to try to knock me out, but he wasn't doing that good of a job of landing any really good punches on me. I'm able to just get out of the way of stuff, which is why we end up wrapping up over and over. He was a solid kickboxer. I'm sure he was like a Sandai champion in his region. But again, I'm able to kind of get out of the way of a lot of those there. Again, it wasn't that he really landed anything. It's just that I slipped when he went for the kick to the leg. And we get tied up again, and then we end up just separating, and then that's when the round ends. Now here is the second round, so you'll see that we actually changed gloves. So now right here we actually have MMA gloves on, and they're explaining what the rules are. Now I can take him down. Now uh, we can still strike and things like that. But this is my area of expertise and my forte. And I was gonna let him fight a little bit more, but after the way he was trying to knock me out, I said, "Fuck it." I throw one kick, I miss, and I say, you know what? I know what to do here. And then I proceed to shoot for a takedown. I drop him, and I know it's a little bit hard to see, but I end up here. I'm in side control. I pass over. I get to the mount. I lock up the arm triangle. I dismount, and he taps out right here. So I end up, after almost getting knocked out, I end up getting the victory. You see my boy Evie, who cornered me again on short notice. I appreciate him for that. You see and a lot of stuff that I do. Evie was in my corner, so I always got to thank him for that. So I end up winning. And now throughout all of this, again, my left hand is broken, and I don't know it. And when I say broken, I mean completely snapped. My left pointer finger was completely snapped. But I was able to work through some adversity, almost getting finished from an illegal strike in the fight, but I was able to pull it out. I know it wasn't a pretty win, but it was a win nonetheless. It's something I'm proud of, and hopefully I get to put on a show some more once I'm healed. For those of you that don't know, I actually have an Achilles injury right now that I'm recovering from. But it always feels great to get your hand raised, especially on with a fight that you took on very short notice. But it was an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life, and something that I'll take with me in a story, a really good story that I always got to tell. So this is actually a story I've also told in some of my stand-up. So it's something. So you see me there getting my hand raised, and I gotta say I love it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Hope you guys like and subscribe.